Hi, everybody. This is a demo of the odh-dashboard CMBI feature, which is the notebook images tab right here. This used to be the bring your own notebook UI, but now it's upgraded to be the CMBI UI with a few new features. So right now it looks pretty much the same. We can add a new image just like before. But this, instead of taking you to a pop-up, it takes you to a new page, and you're going to get this this history right here, and then option to add a new image, and asks you 3 different ways you can do it. Now, the bring your own notebook way was importing an existing image, so this is the same. Here you can give a repository and whatever name, and then whatever whatever description you want, and that's it for importing an image. Go ahead and press save, and you can see it's going to use the status. The status right now is still based on the old method, not using the CRDs. So this is sending out an image stream resource instead of a custom resource that we're developing. But for testing purposes and showing off the front end part of this works just fine. Here's the packages here. Now I can go in there and edit it. Same thing, it's going to open it up. I can change the name, so let's change the name to num2. I can add software as well to the edit screen if I want. And you can see it changed the name to NumPy2. Go in and add the next option, which is create from existing image. Now here, you're gonna have the option to create a notebook image from an image that's already in your cluster or in your namespace. So here you have options of using the core images, but then there's also going to be options to use any other images, such as built images or images that are imported in. But for now, we can just use these core images that are used. And say we selected standard data science, and standard data science populates us with some packages already. So let's go through. We can add ourselves a name, and each one of these packages, we can filter it. Say we want to look for a specific one. We want to edit it. Say we don't want 0.5, we want 0.4 or 0.3 for some reason, and save that. Or we can also deselect it. So the mockup described this table to use these checkboxes as well as an option to delete. So I can go ahead and delete it, which just deletes it from the page. But if I just don't want to include a certain one, I can go ahead and do this. But that still also gives me the option to re-enable it. But if I really just don't want it, I can go and delete it. Go ahead and add a package to whatever we want. Yeah, that's adding a new image. I can press save. It's not going to work. It's not hooked up to a backend yet, so it's just going to blankly do nothing. Build new image from scratch. This is our last one, so give it a name like usual. And right now we have one option. We have 2, but this is disabled using a binary file. But we can use a text file, and we can go ahead and upload a file, or we can just input one here. And this is validated, so if we don't have anything here, we won't be able to continue. Same thing here. All these forms are validated, so if we don't have everything filled out, it won't work. And yeah, there we go. So we have, from here, we can go through and we can search, we can filter based on certain things. We can enable and disable. We can also go through, edit like I showed before, and delete if we don't need them anymore. Any questions?
Yeah, maybe a short one. Maybe I just didn't see it. If you go back to the build from scratch and add your packages, how do I know what's happening next? I mean, we're talking about a Python image. Is that correct? So which version of Python is included, or is it really just?
Yeah, so this was not mentioned in the MVP, which it can be added. It's not too bad. I think in the future, we talked about recently adding features for giving a dropdown using the Thoth API, which provides users to select available environments. So that's like your OS name, your OS version, and your Python version. So we can easily have a dropdown, which I would think would be somewhat similar to this, where it's a populated dropdown, and it'd be like, oh, this is I want Python 3. Okay, which environments have Python 3.6, or which ones have Python 3.8? And then we can go ahead and say, like, okay, UBA, we can use that one. Yeah, that will be here, and it'll just be another dropdown. But
Okay.
for now on, I think we're gonna hard code it. If it wasn't part of the MVP.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
My question is actually on this page. So
Mhm.
if you select a base image, like a
Yep.
source image, and can you click? Can you go to the packages?
Yep.
Yeah. So these are populating from the annotation inside the image stream, right?
Yep.
If we edit them, basically, is so. If we are editing this, does that mean that we are saying, oh, we want pandas version 1.2.3?
Yes.
Okay, so it means that we'll change the annotation and also send the request.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think on that front, I believe we need to adjust something, because compared to the other use case, which is the bring your notebook, the previous use case that we had, where you can also edit packages. The purpose of editing packages, that is just to focus on the annotations as a helper for the admin to kind of decide what to show in the spawner page, but it doesn't really affect what comes in the image, because the import image is, well, it imports the image as it is. It never changes. So the goal, I believe, of that UI was just to be able to, customize a bit what appears on the spawner UI. And probably we want to keep that feature of being able to select what shows, because, maybe I don't care if Boto 3 is there or not. I'm mostly interested in highlighting that this image has NumPy and SciPy, right? But not Boto 3. Keeping that functionality while at the same time selecting packages to add to an image, for example, might need some. I'm just thinking about this. Sorry, I mean, the feature is great. The mockups are great, but maybe we need to separate those two usage types for the package list. Similarly, sorry, but I mean, do we want to pre-populate that list, or or in other words, do we want to offer the possibility of, let's say, removing packages as well from an existing image? Just asking.
Let's take these questions to the Open Data Hub people, because I think the use case is that I'm going to use an existing image and I update or add packages. That is what is shown. Is it really for just doing the annotations? That would be interesting, because if I edit the annotation, that Boto 3 is available in version 1.17.9, but it's really a different thing that I installed on the image. That's not a good idea, right? It differs. The annotation differs from the system, from the container image itself. I think it's valid questions we should send back to Open Data Hub. From my point of view, this is creating a custom notebook image resource, which is using built from package list. And these packages that I added here in the user interface is put into the custom resource. So I'm going to create a new image.
Any follow-up questions? Oh yeah, this error pops up if the tags, the annotations aren't there in the image.
This is great. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's Gage, could you take these questions to the Open Data Hub people?
Just in, yeah, I'll put it in the Slack channel.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Nice.